Today we'll be giving a gameplay overview and review of the game Bärenpark. It's a game about bears.
Gobi bears.
In fact, I love gobi bears.
And panda bears.
And polar bears.
And koala bears. Koala bears.
Which are
not bears. Not bears.
Still, they're cute. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of To Die For Games. I'm Tracy, the gaming maven.
And I'm Stephane, the games teacher.
And well, looking to see what the setup is, not quite sure? Well, click on a timestamp below and it'll take you right to the part you're looking for.
Leave us a comment, let us know how we're doing, and subscribe to the channel to be notified when we post new content.
And with that, we've got Bärenpark already up and set to go, so let's get to it. In Bärenpark, players are working to build the best bear park they can, competing with each other to be the first one to finish theirs, and then everyone calculates up their points between the bear statues, the enclosures, and the animal houses to see who has the most points.
So here we have the components for Bärenpark. We have our starting park area tiles with entrances, additional park area tiles, enclosure tiles, bear statues, supply board, achievement tiles, animal houses, and green areas. So to set up the game, we're going to place the supply board out in the middle of the table. We're going to put in the enclosures, the animal houses, and the green tiles. We're going to lay out the bear statues and the achievement tiles above the board. We're going to set out the park area tiles in 2 piles to the side of the board, and each player will start with a park start area card. Now, depending on the number of players, the animal houses, green area tiles, and achievement and bear statue tiles, a certain number of them will come out based on the number of players. In this case, we've set up for a 4-player game. At the start of the game, each player will receive 1 green area tile. The start player will get a toilet. The second and third players, if they're playing, will each get a playground, and the 4th player, if he's playing, will get a food area tile. I'm going to illustrate gameplay for a single player. Each other player will play the same way. So on your turn, you first must place 1 tile from your personal supply onto your board. Now there's a number of icons on the board, and I'm going to discuss each in turn. And depending on which icons you cover will dictate what actions you take beyond that. In this case, if I cover a green wheelbarrow tile, I can then take any of the green area tiles. If I were to cover a white cement mixer tile, I could then take any of the animal house tiles, or if I don't want any of the animal house tiles that are on offer, I could choose instead to take any of the green area tiles. If I cover the construction crew, this will allow me to select one of the 2 top park area tiles that are on offer, and without rotating them or reorienting them, I can place them full edge to full edge with one of the edges of my start tile. So your park could be elongated or square or some combination thereof. The hole or pit area cannot be covered over, and instead it will activate once all of the other areas of the tile have been covered with other tiles, at which point you will get to choose the highest value bear statue tile still remaining and place it on top of the pit. The last icon that we need to discuss is over here, the orange backhoe, and the backhoe will allow you to take an enclosure on offer, or if you don't want any of the enclosures on offer, you can always take any of the other tiles available. So on my first turn, I'm going to place my toilet onto the white cement mixer, which will allow me to take any of these tiles. And I'm going to grab this one. Play would proceed to other players, and then on my next turn, I can then play this tile that I have on offer. And I'm going to place it here, which will cover both the construction crew and a green wheelbarrow. So I'll be able to place both an additional park area tile and also grab a green area tile. On my next turn, I will play this covering the white cement mixer, and again be able to choose from any of the animal house tiles that are on offer. And I'm going to choose again to get this one. On my following turn, I can play this tile, always playing tiles orthogonally adjacent to some other tile. I can now cover up the backhoe and another green wheelbarrow to allow me to take another green area tile for the wheelbarrow, and the backhoe will allow me to take any of the enclosure tiles. And in this case, which one do I want? I'm going to grab this one. Now, if at any point I have achieved any of the achievement requirements for the achievement tiles, I would immediately get that as soon as I've met that achievement. And their values vary depending on which one you get. If you're first to a tile, you get more victory points for getting that achievement than subsequent players. So it's a race to see who can get those achievements first, because they can be worth a fair amount of victory points at the end of the game. If at any point during your turn you do not cover any of the icons on your park area mats, as would happen here. So here I would grab another park area tile. I'll just add it to my end here. And I would also get another white cement mixer tile. I'll just take that one. So on my next turn, I can cover this space. However, you'll note that there's no icons being covered. That means that I won't be grabbing any additional tiles, and that could leave me in a position, if I didn't already have this tile, where I'd have no tiles to place. If that was the case, I would then have to pass my turn in order to grab one of the green area tiles from the supply board. A game will end when a player has filled up their fourth and final park tile. Each player is limited to only having 4 tiles. Even if they cover the construction crew on their 4th tile, they do not grab a 5th. So in this case, I'm in my last turn. I could cover these 2 spaces and get a white tile, a white cement truck tile from what's on offer. I've accumulated some achievement points here. I'm going to grab a bear token, cover that up, and I've now filled up my park. Each additional player will get 1 final turn in order to place any tiles and score any remaining points. At the end of the game, each player will total up all of the number values showing on any of their park tiles and or achievement tiles, and the player with the most points wins the game.
So now we're ready to give our review of Bärenpark. So Stephane, what do you think?
I really enjoyed this one. It was very reminiscent of me of a couple of Uwe Rosenberg games, but this isn't Uwe game. This is from Phil Walker Harding. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I really like this game. I can't give enough thumbs up, but we'll talk about that later. So let's talk about art and theme.
The art is pretty well done. I find the colors are good. They're nice and bright. And it's about, you know, being in an animal park or a zoo. So yeah, a couple of people were asking, animal park, what's that? When I said zoo, oh, you mean a zoo? Yeah, so maybe different terminology in different parts of the world, but
Yeah, so I also like the art in the sense of you have the 4 types of bears, and there's enclosures for each type of bear as well as animal houses, and it's easy to tell them. It's also easy to, like, there's only 4 different iconography plus the bear pit where the statue goes, on the actual player board, so it is fairly easy to know. Once you know what you do when you cover those, then you're good. So the art is very clear, it's easy to see, and I like how it looks really kind of like, you know, starting to become a park, and then as you put things on, it starts to really look an actual built park. So I really like that aspect. So components.
Quality components is good. It's good thick cardboard pieces all around. I would have liked to see a more variety maybe in the achievement tiles personally, just to give a bit more. There's already a few there, and only 3 sets of tiles come out in any given game, but it would have been nice to see maybe a few more options there, or maybe that's something they could include in a expansion, possible future expansion.
Well, the big thing is now this isn't a mechanics. This is mechanics more than a components thing, but I personally liked the components. They're very solid. The insert, though, I'm sorry, that insert is completely and utterly useless. It just makes things awkward to put away, so I just opted for bags. So personally, I would say just toss that when you get it, but other than that, the components are easy. I find, even though it's fixed tiles, and the tiles are always going to be the same no matter, well, based on number of players, however, the point count is different on the tiles, but it's always going to be the same tiles. I still found it very interesting because it's a puzzle game. So you're always going to be making something different. You're going to be going for different tiles depending upon how things fit in your park. So I really like that. So mechanics.
The gameplay and rule set are really easy to learn and teach. I like that. As several people have pointed out, it is a puzzle game. It is a multiplayer puzzle game, but there's not a lot of player interactivity other than maybe denying someone a particular tile that you know they're going for. There isn't any take that, or there's no player versus player. There's no player interactivity in this game. No. Now,
as someone who's played a lot of games like this and who really enjoys these games, I already knew that going into this, so that isn't a surprise for me. But this is something to note for people who don't know of this style or mechanic of game. It doesn't have a lot of player interaction. So if you're looking for that, you know, talking to other people and kind of, you know, either denying people things or helping people, it doesn't have any of that, and that's okay for me because I love it enough. For me, the most interesting thing was trying to really get the pieces to fit. Like you don't really know until the end of the game whether you're actually got the points to win, because you're thinking you're doing well, and you think you've got the high point tiles and you're good, and you just can't make things fit and someone gets there before you, or you're the person who ends it, but you really don't have enough. So I like how you really don't know till the end of the game if you're winning. Because you just can't keep track of what everyone's doing. So
yeah, so far I thought my high 90 scores were doing good, and I get edged out by, you know, someone in the low hundreds. So yeah, it seems to always be the case. I've come in second or third or fourth in this game, even though I think, oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. So similar games. Obviously, there's a couple of very obvious similar games.
Yeah. Cottage Garden would be one.
Yep.
Another one.
Patchwork is another one, and another one I thought of too is, it's not quite as puzzly, but Karuba.
Okay.
Has a different mechanic, but it does something similar that you have to play and they have to match and you have to move along them. In this case, a little different, but those two plus Karuba would be the 3 that I would really say stand out and be very similar. So overall opinion of the game.
I really enjoyed this game. It's a good light filler game. Even 4 people playing it for the first time can probably get through the game in about 25-30 minutes, as long as they aren't taking too long to decide on what tiles to get. And so yeah, it's a really good light filler game. Another hit from Mayfair.
Absolutely a game that I will just play again and again. I've already played it over half a dozen times since we got it just a few weeks ago, and I'm going to continue to play it. One thing I did want to note that I forgot to mention earlier was the achievement tiles. Even though they're challenging, I find unless you're like a newbie gamer, I would recommend playing them in pretty much from your first game, because they're not that hard to do. Like, they're hard to achieve, but they're not hard to figure out how to work them into the game mechanics. So I would highly recommend working with the achievements. It makes it a game for people who are gamers to actually give it a little bit more challenge. So
if you like puzzle games, check out Bärenpark.
Yeah, so huge thumbs up. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye.